On the Rural Sports Network, you are watching Crick Log Rolling coverage of the U.S. Log Rolling Open from Orland Park, Illinois. Brought to you by Crick Log Rolling. Learn more about how you can get involved in this great, fast-growing recreational sport with historic roots by visiting cricklogrolling.com. And join us for the 2018 U.S. Log Rolling Open this July 4th in Gladstone, Michigan.
Hello and welcome to the Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open in Chicago Southland's Orland Park. I'm Dave Stripling, and with me is Jacob Rick, veteran of the Lumberjack World Championships and a log rolling champion in his own right.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Happy to be here. We got a beautiful day here at Lake Sedgwick. First tournament of the year. It's going to be really exciting. These log rollers have been training all winter long for this. We got a really strong men's and women's field, so I'm excited to see who comes out on top.
So let's take a look at this year's women's bracket.
And on our women's side, in the first semifinal, you can see we have Ellie Davenport. She will be taking on Maggie Penning. And in our second semifinal, we have Abby Heschler taking on Shauna Verstegen. Then on our guys' side for today, in our first semifinal, we will have Carl Rick. He will be rolling Connor Birdsong. In our second semifinal of the day, we'll have Spencer Wilkinson taking on Garrick Birdsong.
We're going to take a short break. Coming up, more action from Orland Park. It's the 2017 Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open. Welcome back to the Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open in Chicago Southland's Orland Park on this windy day. We're moments away from the action here, but first, Jake, for somebody who's new to log rolling, what are some of the rules and strategies of the sport?
Yeah, it's not real complex, just a couple basic things to get you going here. Really only two rules. You can't touch your opponent, and you can't cross or touch that center line in the log there. The last one on the log wins, and you got to win best 3 out of 5 to win the match. You can see there's some different colored logs there, different sizes. They'll start on the biggest log, and then there's time limits. They'll work their way down. We'll get into it more as the broadcast goes on, but that's enough to get you started. For our first semifinal here, we got on our left, you'll see, that is Ellie Davenport, and on our right is Maggie Penning. You can see they are pulling out on this, what is considered a number 2 log. Our women start on the number 2 log. It's 14 inches in diameter. You saw they threw their poles and you heard a whistle there. That means the match is officially underway. The judges want to wait, make sure there's a nice clean start, no disadvantage to either roller. That's when they'll blow their whistle, and then anything goes from there.
Now, Ellie Davenport is one of the biggest names in the females of this sport. She is, if you're a football fan, she's sort of the Peyton Manning of this sport, if you think about it.
At the time being, absolutely. She has been dominating competitions the last 2 years, I'd say. She's on our left there in that headband. She is our defending world champion, actually. And again, on our right, we have Maggie Penning. This will be an interesting match. I could see it going a while, actually. As you can see, the two rollers there are facing the same direction. That's what's called a running match. There's really no, they're both either running backwards or running forwards at the same time. So there's no real advantage either way. They're similar build log rollers, so I don't really see either one of them taking full control of the log, trying to be real aggressive. I think there's a 1 minute time limit on this log. I would be real surprised if we saw a fall. And actually, there's the whistle. We got time. Time is out for that log, if you will.
Now, explain to our viewers, there are 5 matches, or in a match there are 5 what you call falls.
Yep, potentially 5 falls. And of course, it's 3 out of 5, so you'll see at least 3. You got to win 3 of the 5. And we call them falls. It's somewhat confusing. If you fall in the water, you are the loser. But we say you take the fall if you're the winner. So you'll hear us say so-and-so takes the fall throughout the day. That does in fact mean
that they win.
They won that fall. That's right. You can see our competitors working their way back towards the dock there. You see we got a different log out there. That's what we call a number 3 log.
Now that's the next size down, so it's slightly smaller, so it'll be a little bit harder to roll, feet closer to the water.
Correct. It is smaller. The previous log was 14 inches diameter. This one is only 13 inches in diameter. So it's going to sit a little lower. It's much quicker. It's just got less mass, so the log will move a lot faster. These ladies, I can see them getting all the way down to the number 4 log, which is, again, 1 inch smaller in diameter. That one's only 12 inches in diameter, so imagine trying to roll on a ruler. We'll see if we get there or not, but they're stepping back out. They're pulling away from the docks. Of course, safety's a prime concern here, so you got to get them far enough away that in case someone falls, they won't come back at the dock.
And they're rolling.
Yep.
Ellie Davenport on the left without the hat. Maggie Penning on the right in the black hat.
You can see already we got some movement on the log. Of course, these ladies, like I said, Ellie's our defending world champion, and Maggie Penning is no slouch in her own right. So I'll be curious to see if we have a fall on this log or not. But we do have 3 minutes on this log now. So we only had 1 on that first log, 3 minutes on this log, and I'll tell you what, these girls make it look easy, but I promise you it's not that easy. 1, even just standing on that log is tough. But 2, as they go on here, it really almost becomes like a distance running thing. It's like a series of wind sprints. You gotta be ready to sprint at any time, but as it goes on, as the match goes on, your legs start burning, your lungs start burning, and all of a sudden, on a hot day like today, that water starts looking pretty good.
And the wind is going to affect them as well. Does it actually blow you off the log?
I wouldn't say it blows you off. We do have a strong wind today. As you can see, the dock is nowhere in sight. But these ladies are kind of drifting down the water, if you will. It's more of a mental thing, I think, than a real affect you on the log while rolling. We got a nice shot of their feet there. When you're rolling, you can see they're actually looking at each other's feet there. So Ellie's looking right at Maggie's feet. Maggie's looking at Ellie's feet. And that's the quickest way to detect if there's some form of aggression coming, and you can try and prepare for it. It also kind of keeps your head, your center of mass right over the top of that log. See, we got some action there.
And splash. Maggie Penning goes in the water, which means that Ellie actually takes the fall.
You're right. Ellie took that first fall there. We'll see what happened there to Maggie. It almost looks like she gets on the backside of that log. Watch their hands. That's the easiest way to see what's going on. And you'll see she just keeps going back farther and farther on that log, and her feet eventually are so far almost in the water that she just can't get back up on top.
Yeah, even though they have those spiked shoes, it's hard to get a grip once your feet start getting into the water.
That's right. You gotta the key in log rolling is really realizing you're in trouble early. If you wait too long, like by the time right before she fell in there, there's just nothing you can do when you got 1 foot in the water and 1 foot almost totally on the side of the log. She's got to realize sooner that she's kind of getting on the back side of that log, and then she can try and correct it sooner. But at that point, so late, so far off the center of that log, there's not much she could have done there. So you see our competitors are back on the dock. Once they get the log back in front of the dock, they have 30 seconds, dry off, get something to drink, grab a Gatorade, whatever it might be. They got 30 seconds, and then they got to get back out there. The judges start a watch once they're back up on the dock. You don't want somebody out on the log waiting for the other one while they're getting a quick nap in, trying to recover, and the other one's standing out there waiting for them. So they'll be pretty strict on that. And you can see they're back out on the log already.
Lots of fans here today in Orland Park enjoying log rolling, for some of them for the first time. And our 2 competitors are back out. Ellie Davenport on the left, Maggie Penning on the right in the black hat.
You heard our whistle. That means we're back. We're back underway. Time is in. Saw some quick movement right away there. Looks like Maggie's not going to mess around. Like I said, I wasn't sure if we'd see a fall on this log, but sure enough, we absolutely did. You can see naturally, anyone would rather run forwards than backwards, so the natural is to run forward, which would be, right now, that's technically a back step. And so there's back step, which is running backwards essentially on the log, and a front step, which is running forwards on the log. And usually you'd like to see a front step.
So you're trying to force your opponent into a back step.
Yes. And right now, where they're facing the same direction, that's called a running match. So there's really no advantage, either way, whether you're front stepping or back stepping, because you're doing the exact same thing. But you can see right now there's a little more movement, and you'll see as they get more and more tired, they'll continue to push. You know, when you're dying up there, the last thing you want to do is just be up there longer. So you'll start being more and more aggressive, trying to get your opponent in that water.
You may see a few splashes here coming up.
Yeah, we'll see. Some of the kind of aggressive moves are, and there's a whistle.
There's the whistle.
And that is going to be time. They will be seeing this stick of dynamite, as we call it.
The stick of dynamite, the smallest log there is. It's like rolling on a ruler.
That's right.
Because it's a 12-inch log.
Yep, it's only 12 inches wide, and really, you know, technically you can step on that outside part, but if you do, that log's going to almost explode like a stick of dynamite. You know, it's going to take off, and it's going to be really hard to stick on there. So you really only have those top 2-3 inches that you want to be on. Otherwise, trouble's coming your way quick.
So as our athletes or log rollers, what exactly do you have a specific thing that you call our athletes in this sport?
We mostly just refer to them as rollers, log rollers.
Rollers.
Yep, rollers. So if you hear that term, now maybe you'll know what it is. But,
rollers.
Yep.
As they towel off on the deck. And you have the log wranglers.
Log wranglers.
The log wranglers are helping them out by pulling the log back. And they have the safety poles that push them out. Yep,
very important position, that log wrangler. He kind of helps out getting our logs switched around, making sure they don't have to drag the log back. You don't want to exert any other effort than you have to. So you can see we're stepping back out on the log now, and be ready right away here. I think you're going to see action immediately.
It's Ellie Davenport on the left without the cap. Maggie Pinning in the black hat.
And you heard the whistle, so that means we're back underway.
And look at that footwork.
Yep. This is quick log, and again, these girls make it look so easy. They're very light. They're short in stature, if you will, but you can see that log's moving already.
The balance is amazing. My 240 would have fallen off long ago.
Yes, this is a sport that's much easier to pick up when you're about 5 years old and weigh 40 pounds.
And very, very competitive match. And there's no time limit on this last fall.
Correct. They'll be on this log till it's done.
Splash. Maggie Pinning goes down.
All right, so let's see what happened to Maggie here. Looks like she got the other last fall she got on the backside, and this time watch her left foot here. I think it just gets down too far in the water, and all of a sudden you see her shoulders kind of drop down too. So watch her left foot. Her left foot's going to be coming over. All of a sudden, boom, all of a sudden she's down way in the water.
Oh,
You see your feet were right in the water there, and when you got both feet touching the water, that's going to be really hard to recover from.
And bump that tailbone right there on the,
the
log.
We say she got a little cedar in her cedar.
Ouchville, population U.
That's right. That's right. But that's okay. These log rollers are tough. You should see a log roller's shins. They got marks and bruises, and it's an ugly sight. But it's just from putting in the hours, putting in the time, and that'll happen. The logs are not very forgiving.
So our rollers are out for the next fall. Ellie Davenport once again on the left, Maggie Pinning on the right, and here they go.
All right, so that's our whistle. Time is back in. Maggie's gonna do her best. She just needs to get one at a time. She can't think she's down 2-0. What do I do now? She just needs one fall, and then she's right back in this thing. Of course, Maggie from Hayward, Wisconsin, where several of the best log rollers in the world are from. A lot of action out there. You can see they're trying to stay right over the top center of that log. And it looks like Maggie goes
splash.
down. And Ellie takes that match. You see a hug there. Our competitors all know each other very well. Let's see what's going on here with Maggie on this one. First fall, she went off the back side. Second fall, she went off the front side. So on this last fall, all right, we saw a lot of action before this. Your legs are dead at this point. She's just fighting to stay on, drops her shoulder, watch. And then I think she just got a little too far back, and at that point she's so tired. They've been rolling for about 5 minutes now. She just has nothing left to try and fight to get back on the top of that log. So you see, it looks like she might go in back stepping, then nope, right over the other side, and there's just nothing there. But great match. Again, Ellie's our defending world champion. It's going to be tough to get her off here.
So we're going to take another short break. Coming up, we have more action from Orland Park. It's the 2017 Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open. Welcome back to the Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open. We have action already underway.
All right, and this is our second women's semifinal. On our right, in the red and white hat, that's Abby Heschler. On our left, that's Shauna Verstegen. And these are two old. I shouldn't say old. They'll get on me about that. Never say old about women. I should have learned my lesson. I know. But these are two veterans of the sport. They've been around a long time. Shauna is actually a 6-time world champion. And Abby is no slouch herself. In fact, she comes from one of the great log rolling families, if you will. Both her mom, she's got 2 sisters, a brother. There's well over 15 world titles in that family, and they know how to compete and they know how to win. This should be a really good match.
Over 30 professional wins, 6 world titles under her belt for Shauna Verstegen. And she has a 2-year-old and hasn't lost a step.
That's right. She does have a 2-year-old. She actually is defending her title here, and you can see they both hopped off the log there. There was time. Again, it's only 1 minute on this first log for the women. Touch that red line.
So we're going to take another short break here. Coming up, more action from Orland Park. It's the 2017 Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open. Welcome back to the Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open in Chicago Southland's Orland Park. And Jake, we are right back into the action here. Tell us what's going on.
All right, we're back with our second women's semifinal of the day. On our right there, as you can see in the red and white hat, that is Abby Heschler. On the left, that's Shauna Verstegen. These are two veterans of the log rolling community. 2 of the greats. We are already underway. We actually went through the first log here for these women. There was 1 minute of action, but nothing much happened, no falls. So we're back here on the number 3 log. They will be on this log for 3 minutes. And actually, just like our last match, we got a running match here. So that's when they're both facing the same way. No real advantage to either one which way the log's spinning. They both got to run forward or backward no matter what.
Sure, and that's Shauna on the left without the cap. The red and white cap is Abby Heschler. And look at that footwork. It's amazing the balance that these ladies have.
Yeah, and I always think it's almost deceiving. It's unfair how easy they make it look. If you had 2 newbies out there who've never stepped on a log, it'd look a whole lot different, I tell you that. But these girls have so much control. They're able to just know exactly where their bodies are, exactly where their feet are on the log, that it's nothing for them. And they've spent hours and hours and years rolling. Both of these 2 started as just little kids, learn to walk and then learn to roll right after that is how the log rolling theory is a lot of times.
I'm pretty sure young Grayson, her 2-year-old boy, will be a log roller as well, because I saw him run around last night. That's some quick footwork out of a 2-year-old.
Oh yeah, and she'll have him out on the log. I'm sure she's already had him out on the log.
It is, they make it almost look mundane. It is amazing, but you can see their arms, their shoulders, everything goes into balancing them on top of the log, keeping that center of gravity low.
Yep, and just like you can see here, you kind of have the center of the log, again, as we talked about coming into the show, that center red line you can't step on or cross. That's an automatic DQ for you for that fall. That's an automatic fall for the other person.
Now, can your hand go across?
Your hand can go across. The other rule, as we talked about, is you can't purposely hit your opponent. Sometimes when there's crazy action and the arms are swinging and everything else, there'll be some incidental contact. That's no big deal. As long as you don't wind up and punch them, pretty much, you're all right. But as you can see, both these ladies face the same direction as we talked about. You see Shauna has her right arm in front, her left arm in back. Abby's opposite. She's got her left arm in front, right arm kind of in back, and your feet kind of follow.
And they're watching those feet.
Yep, and they're both watching each other's feet. That's the easiest way, the best sign to detect something's happening or your opponent's about to do something. The easiest way as a viewer to see something's going on is watch their hands, watch their shoulders. You saw Shauna's shoulders snap back real quick there, but equally as fast, she was able to get them right back over the top. You see a lot of action.
And splash.
and Abby's in the water.
And that means Shauna wins, which means she takes the fall.
She takes that first fall. That's right.
Takes the fall. That's the one thing. That's hard for me.
That's all right.
As a newbie to the sport, that is.
It is confusing, but let's see what happens here. To me, it almost looked like Shauna wasn't the one in trouble. Abby looked very under control. You see Shauna's shoulders go down, and I think Abby tried to get her in, but she was just too late. Shauna had kind of recovered, and I think when Abby tried to put Shauna in, she kind of put herself in because she was just a little late. You saw Shauna in trouble on the right,
yeah.
But then Abby is actually the one that goes in the water there.
A little bit of lumber on the lumbar.
That's right. Hey, that's one. I like it. I like it. So Shauna takes our first fall there. You can see they're a ways out from that dock. That's the wind we were talking about today. We got 30, 35 mile an hour gusts going on here. So they are...
Yeah, I think the wind blew them halfway to Kankakee.
That's right. That's right. So they got to make their way back through the muck and get back to the dock. Looks like they are going to go to the number 4 log. The rollers have the option now, even though there's a time limit on that number 3 log. They had been out there for so long, and they only had a little bit of time left on that number 3, that they just both chose, instead of going out there for 15 seconds, probably not too much going to happen in those 15 seconds, let's just go to the number 4 log. So as long as both rollers agree to it, they can bypass whatever time is left and go down to the 4 log, which is what they decided to do here. So we see that stick of dynamite for the second time today, Dave.
The stick of dynamite. It could blow up on you at any time. That 12-inch log.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, again, just like the last match, as soon as these two are on this number 4 log, you listen for that whistle, and right away you're going to have action.
So they push themselves out. That is Abby Heschler on the right, Shauna Verstegen on the left without the hat. And here they go.
And again, easiest way to see something's going on is watch those hands. As soon as the hands start creeping up, that probably means they're in trouble. So the log rollers, they'll kind of feel that and try to correct it right away, but sometimes you just can't do anything about it. And that's kind of another thing. Even though,
splash.
Looks like Shauna got that second fall as well.
Definitely got the best of Abby Heschler.
And I'll be really curious to see on the replay here what happened there. But to me, it almost looked like Abby's foot came up. I think she got kind of caught between, which way is the log moving. Watch Abby's left foot. It up way off the log, and while she's only got 1 foot on the log, all her weight on 1 foot, Shauna was able to move the log just a little bit backwards, and that put Abby in real trouble. And by the time she actually could get her left foot back on the log, there's just nothing she could do about it.
You can tell, and as you said, we play with this delicately, but the older athletes in the competition, you never want to say ages, but you can see the experience. You can definitely see that these two competitors have been doing this for a long time because they know how to take advantage of those small faults.
Exactly, and it really is those small, just the slightest thing that sometimes it's even hard for me to see exactly what they're seeing, but it's considering it's only 12 inches across, and really they're just trying to stay on those top 3-4 inches. So we're talking when you get off by like an inch.
Here they go again.
You could be in trouble. And there's the whistle. So we're back underway here. Again, Shauna on our left, Abby on our right in the cap. And just like the previous match, Abby just needs 1 fall at a time. She can't get down on herself. She can't think about, I need 3 straight falls. She can do it. She's been around a long time. There's a lot of action already.
Aggressive. Yes.
You saw what happened there. She got one. She got one back on her.
She just, as we'll see in the replay, it appeared she just aggressively started spinning that log to try to get ahead of the feet of Shauna.
Yeah, and you saw Shauna's hands and shoulders really come up. There's the shoulders. Arms are flailing. She's just fighting with everything she's got. Abby's nice in control. She can take advantage of that. And
she switched to reverse. She reversed that log.
She did.
Yeah,
she
look
did.
At that.
You saw, it looked like Shauna was going off the backside, but Abby was in so much control that with her left foot, she actually kicked kind of down on the log, totally changed directions. And when Shauna was just in no form of control, switching directions like that, there's nothing she can do about that. She's in so much trouble at that point. She's just in the water.
So Abby Heschler making a comeback here.
Yeah.
They're about to go out on the log once again. The Wranglers pulling the logs back to the dock.
All right, so we got 2-1 now. Shauna's up 2-1. There's Ellie. She's waiting to see who she's going to roll in the final. She knows these girls, but she's trying to see if they're up to any new tricks or what they got going on today. Saw Abby reach down and just grab a piece of seaweed off. She wants a nice clean log. Throw their poles. There's the whistle. Time's back underway. Again, Abby just has to think one fall, I tie it up. One fall, that's all I need. So you'll see real rock solid rolling out of her. You see Shauna's arm kind of sneak up a little bit there. But you can see she tries to get it back down. And this wind is really taking them. They're riding right across this lake here.
And it's blowing everything off our table. So it's got to be blowing them off that log.
Well, you saw Abby's shoulders dip way down, but she's able to recover from that. You can actually see little white caps back there behind them, and as they get farther and farther away from shore, that could come into play. I mean, we're not on Lake Superior here or Lake Michigan now that we're by Chicago, I suppose, but you know, there's not going to be any 3-foot swells, but little waves can kind of bounce the log back and forth and just put you a little bit off edge.
Let's see if the ladies try to splash each other, or if it's just log control.
See, Shauna's shoulders are back.
Oh man.
And Abby takes that fall, so she ties it up two falls apiece now. So we're gonna have whoever takes this next fall is gonna be our winner. Let's see what happened there. To me, Dave, here, watch Shauna's shoulders. Okay, so she's up, hands are up, but she's still up and she just never recovered. Like I talked about earlier, you got to realize you're in trouble immediately. Otherwise, if you wait too long, she just keeps going, and there's nothing she can do.
Yeah, there's one quick reversal of the log by Abby Heschler, and Shauna just went straight in the water.
Yep, exactly. So if I'm Shauna right now, or if I'm Shauna's coach or whoever, you know, she can do this. You know, Abby's kind of got the hot streak right now. She's riding high. But Shauna, I think Shauna could have really saved that fall. If she just would have realized she was in a little bit of trouble, she could have brought her front right arm down, got those shoulders back over the log, and I think she could have been okay. It's just sometimes in log rolling when you're tired and you start to feel those legs burning. Like we said, there's 1 minute on the 2 log, 3 minutes on the 3 log, and they've probably been out there at least a minute now, so you're over 5 minutes in of doing wind sprints. It's like, I'm a little bit in trouble, but I think I'm okay, I can hold on. And if she just has to realize a little quicker that she's got to fix it.
These athletes are almost like marathoners with the endurance.
Yeah, yep. So, all right, I think things are going to get real interesting here, Dave.
Here it is, last one for everything.
Throw their poles, we'll wait for the judges. There's the whistle, nice fair start. They're back underway. I would expect to see Abby, who again is on the right in the cap. I think she'll kind of ride it out. She'll wait for Shauna to try to make a mistake and then capitalize, where I think Shauna, she's just a touch bigger roller. I think she'll be the aggressor more.
More lumber to the lumbar.
That's right. So Abby takes that second semifinal, excuse me. So let's see what happened there with that fifth and final fall. Again, all these matches will be best 3 out of 5. So here's the replay. Watch Shauna. I said she'd be the aggressor, and she did. You saw a big pop with her right foot down. She's trying to move that log, but in the drink she went. A little too aggressive. And Abby takes that match. So our final will be Ellie Davenport and Abby Heschler.
It's the 2017 Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open. Welcome back to the Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open in Chicago Southland's Orland Park, and we were on to the men's roll.
Yep, our men's first semifinal here. You see him pulling out on our right. That's going to be Carl Rick. He's in the red and white hat there. He is rolling Connor Birdsong on the left. And this will be an interesting match, Dave. You've seen so far that we've had 2 running matches. This is a bucking match. It's going to be much more aggressive. Bucking match means when they're facing opposite directions. Plus, these are guys. They don't want to wait around and get tired. Nobody likes to get tired as a guy, right? So you're going to be aggressive, especially being a bucking match where One person is always going to be running forward, one running backward, and flip-flop. So you want to be the one running forward most of the time.
Now, I've noticed Connor seems to play close to the center line. Does that give him an advantage? Oh,
Yeah.
it did here.
It did there. It did there. You're right. Carl ends up in the water, so Connor takes that first fall. And you are correct about that center line, though. Carl's our little bigger competitor, but let's see what happened there. All right, so let's watch Carl on the right. He's being aggressive. He's trying to fight, and I think he just got too aggressive. Connor was right on top of the log, rock solid. Watch Carl's left foot. He tries to dip it down. He's trying to kick the log, but Connor's not really in trouble. He's
on his heels.
Yeah, right. So Carl's trying to be aggressive, which is typical. That's how he is. That's how he rolls. But sometimes if the other roller's not in trouble, they're just rock solid on top of the log, all you're going to do is hurt yourself.
Now, how much does size help you or hurt you as a competitive advantage?
It is, I would say, neither. It's just a different rolling style is really what it comes down to. Connor on our left there, he's a little thinner. I know he's a cross-country runner. He would love to see this match go on forever. The longer this match goes on, I think the more it favors Connor. Where Carl's a little bigger, little more muscular. You saw how aggressive he was being. He wants to kind of kick Connor back and forth and try to put him in the water instead of let Connor screw up eventually.
And Carl Rick on the right in the red and white cap. Connor Birdsong on the left.
All right, and there's our whistle. That means time has elapsed on this number one log. And as you can see, this first log for the guys is a little different than the girls. The guys being a little bigger, a little stronger, a little more aggressive generally. They start on a 15-inch log, so it's 1 inch bigger than the women start on. Plus it helps, you get some of these big guys out there, they're trying to float on a log. It helps them float a little more, keeps them out of the water. So again, 1 minute on that log, so now they'll go down to the number 2 log, which is 14 inches in diameter. And there'll be a 3-minute time limit on this log. I would be surprised if this match goes longer than the 2 log. I think as aggressive as Carl has been on that number 1 log, he'll be equally aggressive on this number 2 log. And like I said, it's not unheard of. I could see it going to the 3, but I'd take a flyer on saying this match will probably end right here on the number 2 log.
We'll see if you prove prophetic, Jake.
Yeah, we will.
Here we go, back out on the log. Connor Birdsong on the left. There's the whistle. Carl Rick on the right. And they're rolling.
All right, and again, this is a bucking match, so generally you want to be running forward. You see a lot of whitewater out there. Like I said, I don't think Carl's gonna waste too much time. He knows Connor. These guys actually train together sometime. They're both from Onalaska, which is right next door to La Crosse, Wisconsin, so they're very familiar with each other. A lot of whitewater out there. Very aggressive rolling from both of them. Like you said, Connor hugs that line. Oh.
Yeah, he made a last-minute kick.
The last-ditch effort for the splash by Carl there. Let's see what happened, but I think Carl just got a little bit off. Again, he's being real aggressive. He knows Connor. He knows Connor has been a cross-country runner. Let's watch. You saw Connor's shoulder sneak up, but he fixes it. He's back fine. And Carl just drops his right heel. He gets too far on the back side of the log, and watch his heels. Whoop! In the water. He's okay. He tries to fix it. But he's just so far on the back side of that log that there's nothing he can do but try and throw some water at him for good measure.
It does seem a little bit like weight does play into it because Carl's feet are in the water while Connor is above the water. So it probably gives him a better grip, I would think.
It does. And you can see we're back here. The whistle blew. We're back live. Connor's up 2 falls to 0, but as we saw in our last match, that doesn't always mean everything. But it does this time. Yep, it does. So you see the handshake, and Connor takes that match. We'll see what Carl did there. But obviously it didn't take long. I think Carl knew again. He just had to try and go for it and see what happens. You'll see his feet, Carl's feet on the right in the ball cap. He's pushing down, and there's just nothing he can do. He went for one quick kick, but then he didn't get him, and he tried to force it.
And splash Carl.
Yep. Then he's in the water.
Coming up, more action from Orland Park. It's the 2017 Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open. Welcome back to the Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open, Chicago Southlands Orland Park, and we are right back to the action. Jake, tell us what's going on.
All right, we're in our second semifinal here, and on the right, that is Garrick Birdsong, brother of Connor Birdsong, who is in the finals. And then on the left, we got Spencer Wilkinson. He's in those red shorts, and you can see he's kind of got a different stance than most of our rollers have. He's very low, very wide. You see his feet almost completely on the sides of the log. He's really trying to grip that log and make the log do what he wants instead of the log dictate what he's doing.
He has a completely different appearance than a lot of the others as well.
He does too. He's flying those dreads high and proud. I love it. I love seeing the character in our log rollers, and they're from such different backgrounds. It's a lot of fun to see these guys out here have fun.
Now the wind is taking them quite a bit from the dock.
Yep, and unlike our last match where it was a bucking match, they're facing opposite directions. This is a running match again. They're facing the same direction. Oh!
And he loses his balance.
Yep, that's the one thing. With that such a low stance, it looked like Spencer just got off balance. He took one big step, and then Garrick was able to take that fall. All right, here you go. Here's the replay. All right, watch Spencer on the left. It's almost like he jumped, and then he had both his feet way on the back side of the log, and then Garrick just realized it. Watch those yellow shoes. There's a big old pop, and then both heels get back in the water, and Garrick just kind of lets the log go, basically.
Spencer Wilkinson, under Fun Fact, we ask questions of all of our rollers. Under Fun Fact, he says, "I like cheese."
I like cheese. It's a very Wisconsin thing to say.
18-year-old from Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's he and everyone in his neighborhood.
That's true.
2017, he was 4th ranked. 2016, he is 4th ranked right now. 2016, he was ranked 8th. He tied for 5th in the U.S. Log Rolling Open, 7th. Tied for 7th in the Midwest Log Rolling Championships. So a competitor, Spencer Wilkinson, a competitor who is growing as a competitor as he gets more experience in the sport.
Yep, and both these guys are kind of, I don't want to say rookies. They're not rookies. And in fact, Spencer in the red trunks there was 2nd at the World Championships last year. So he can come back from this. There's no doubt in my mind. But Garrick is a very fine roller as well. That's the whistle. Time is back in. And in fact, Garrick is actually ranked 3rd, but there's a quick fall there, wasn't there?
Yes.
All right. So
anything can happen on any given log.
That's right. We're down to that 2 log, so it's an inch smaller. It's that much faster, and you saw it did not take much time at all there. Watch Spencer. He's got those fancy yellow shoes on. He's good, and then boom, just like that, he gets his right front foot down just a little too far. Garrick's able to see it, put him right in the water. All right, you see Garrick breathing hard there a little bit. Him, like his brother, has a cross-country background, though, so just breathing hard doesn't mean too much to those guys. They're used to being tired.
You would think with a cross-country background, you have the stamina to be able to go for long distances, no matter how much your legs are burning.
Yep, and there's his brother watching. Again, he'll be waiting in the final for whoever wins this, and we could have a bird-hog final at this point.
Big brother versus brother.
That's right. And it looks like it will be.
It is.
Wow.
It is a civil war of sorts here in Orland Park.
That's right.
Brother against brother.
It'll be fun. All right, let's see what happened to Spencer there, though. Those yellow shoes again. He's on the sides of the log, and all of a sudden he gets that left heel back, tries to go right toe. He's okay, and all of a sudden his right toe is over, then his left toe is over. When you got 2 feet on one side of the log, it's never good. You got to have balance. So Garrick's moving on to our final against his brother.
Coming up, more action from Orland Park. It's the 2017 Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open. Welcome back to the Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open in Chicago Southlands Orland Park. We are down to the finals.
That's right. It's going to be exciting. It's been some good semifinals, and we're down for the finals.
First, the ladies' final. We have Ellie Davenport against Abby Heschler.
That's right. Abby's going to be on our right here. She's in the red and white hat, and that's Ellie Davenport, defending world champion.
Sort of the Tom Brady of the ladies aspect.
That's right.
Of the sport.
That's right. She's been doing really good things these last couple of years. Won almost every tournament you can think of. Like I said, defending world champ. She's not going to go lightly, I can tell you that.
And look at the finesse. I can see the difference in finesse between the men and the ladies.
Yep. You saw our guys there. They don't like this. This is too slow for them. They get antsy when that happens.
It's more of a chess match for the ladies.
That's right. They know their style. They know how they want to roll. These girls, I'd be really surprised if we see a fall on this first log. Again, it's a little different color than the men's log because it is, in fact, 1 inch smaller. That's a 14-inch Western red cedar log, actually. That's the official trees of the log rolling sport, if you will. Generally, that is what your average telephone pole, what have you, is made of. However, we like to get them before they creosote them and all that good stuff. But you heard the whistle?
Timeout.
That's right. That's the 1 minute time limit on that number 2 starting first log for the women. All right, so
now
they'll make their way back to the dock here, and they'll catch their breath before embarking on that number 3 log.
Now, for the fun facts, Ellie Davenport, we asked her what brought you to log rolling. Of course, it's a family thing, but she says, it keeps me fit. I just love it.
Keeps her fit. Well, you can see that. Pretty much all of our competitors out here are quite fit athletes. I would absolutely call them athletes. They train anywhere from 5 to 7 days a week. Could be 2-3 hours a day. They are true professional athletes.
She told us a story. She says, when I told my mom I wanted to compete in log rolling, she said, why log rolling? There are no scholarships for log rolling. She winced. She said, you could say that log rolling is my rebellious streak. I also love the training, the adrenaline rush, the quality of competition, and the fantastic people I meet through the sport.
That's true. It is a very almost like a sort of family. You see these competitors travel all over, especially the Midwest in the summertime, and you kind of see the same faces weekend after weekend, and you're going out to eat with them, and it's a very neat culture that I think is very unique to log rolling.
So there's the whistle. They're back on the log.
Don't get me wrong, though. Just because they'll hang out afterwards doesn't mean they don't want it here. They'll fight like crazy for this title. All right, so again, we got Ellie on the left there in the headband, Abby Heschler on the right in the red and white hat. We're back to that old classic running match. We've seen a lot of these today, both facing the same direction, so it doesn't really matter which way is the log spinning. They're both doing the same exact thing. Even here, even though we're down on a 13-inch diameter, 12-foot log, not a ton of action. Again, these are two of the best log rollers in the world. They'll have no problem just taking it easy, seeing if, don't get me wrong, they're still watching their opponent. If their opponent screws up in even the slightest way, they're going to try and take advantage. But I'm going to say you're going to see that number 4 log.
Now, Abby says her favorite band is the Chainsmokers. So I wonder if Ellie, if she knows that, if she'll be hollering the lyrics out to try to knock her off the log.
I've seen some goofy stuff. You know, there's only so much you can do on the log, but I've seen some, very tie-dye shoes, some crazy socks, anything. When they're looking at your feet, anything to try to get your opponent off their game, you're looking to do. You saw Ellie kind of sneak her shoulders up there. She's a little high, but you can tell she feels very comfortable where they're at.
Now, it's hard to believe how they keep their balance in all of this wind. The wind is so strong, it actually blew our broadcast tent into the lake a few minutes back.
Yeah, we had to take a little postponement in between the semifinals and finals while we fished our tent back out of the lake. That's a new one for me. I've been around the sport a long time. I've never had to drag a tent out of the lake, but hey, you got to go with it. You can see how far our rollers are from the dock. They're almost going over to the other dock where we got our fire department on hand. Thank you to those guys. We did
splash.
see some action. That is surprising. I thought we'd see the 4 log, but you saw Abby just get a little off balance on the backside of that log, and Ellie took that fall. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Watch Abby. She's on the far side. Looks like Ellie's almost back, but then she settles in. Abby, watch her feet. She's just on the backside, and then you saw Ellie's shoulders actually kind of come back because she was trying to accelerate the log. She saw Abby get on the backside of the log. Abby's on our right, gets in trouble, and then Ellie does everything she can to accelerate that log, make it spin faster, and put Abby in the water.
Shock right to Shin Town.
That's right. That's right. Add one bruise to the list. All right, you see our competitors making their way back. That was quite a while, but you can see they're bringing the 3 log back. That's a 3-minute time limit on that log. They still got some time left. They decided, you know what? We had 1 fall on this log. Why go to the 4 already? Let's see what else will happen on this log. So they're climbing out of the water. They'll have a good 30 seconds to dry off, grab a drink, try to reset both physically and mentally before pulling back out for this second fall. So again, Ellie will be up 1-0 over Abby in this final. Winner will be our champion.
Now, Jake, tell me how you felt at points like this. How are your muscles burning? Where exactly does it hurt on your body?
The biggest thing for me was always like the quads. Like even though your calves, you get used to your calves burning. Like that doesn't affect. It never affected me too much because, you know, your shins and your ankles are flexing so much, you know, throughout practice and everything else that it never bothered my calves. But in your quads and in your hamstrings, and those just tighten up, and your lungs. I don't know. These girls are in much better shape than I am, but for me, my lungs would kill me and I just want to jump off. But you got to fight that mental battle, and you can see we're back out there. You heard the whistle. We're back underway again. Abby came back from down 2-0 to win her semifinal, so down 1-0 I don't think is going to bother her in the least.
So here it is, the chess match between Ellie Davenport, your defending champion, and Abby Heschler. Ellie without the cap, Abby with the red and white cap. I wonder if the cap gives her an advantage as well.
You know, sometimes people do wear hats. Specifically, it can help with a couple things. One, you know, depending on where you're at in relation to the sun, the glare off the water, it can definitely help try to screen that. You know, obviously, it's the worst if your opponent's feet line up directly with the sun glare off the water. It's really hard to focus, so it can help with that. The other thing it will help with is we haven't seen too much splashing, and actually there's our whistle. Time has elapsed, so we're going to see that number 4 log again.
This is truly a chess match between these two ladies. There's so much more of a subtle aggression.
Yes.
I would say. It's not that they're not being aggressive. It's just so, it seems they balance a little bit more. Their legs are kicking a little bit less, and the movement, there's such an economy of movement that these ladies express.
Yep.
And that comes from experience.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it's more of a finesse role. The guys are just like, oh, whatever. If I get myself in trouble, but he goes in, who cares? You know, they're just out there to throw it around a lot of times. But the ladies, these girls know exactly what they're doing. They have no problem taking their time. Both these girls are at home on the 4 log. I can't think of two other women that would be better on the 4 log. It suits both their rolling styles. They're both, you know, they can roll forever. I remember Abby when she was back in her amateur days. I've seen her have 25-minute, half-hour matches. So this little 7-8 minute blip here, she's still all right. Now she might have aged just a little bit since
you with
then.
the age.
I know.
These women are going to beat you senseless after this.
Well, that's why I hightail it out of here. I don't stick around for this.
You're the one doing the interview.
I know. All right, you see him pulling back out here on this 4 log. Be ready for action here. All right, there's the whistle. Time's back underway. Again, Ellie Davenport, no hat, is up 1-0 over Abby Heschler. You can see running match, already more action though. You got to be ready on the 4 log. You know, if it's the number 2 log, the first log, you can kind of, whatever. I'll just kind of rest. You can't rest on this log. As soon as you do the littlest mistake, at this level of competition. And
splash.
Abby got on the backside. All right, so that's 2 times where Abby's gotten on the backside of the log. So Ellie's kind of found something there, I think. All right, so again, Abby Heschler in the cap. Watch her feet. She's good now. She's a little on the backside, and then her arms are up, and then there's nothing she can do. Like I said, it's all about recognizing it early. So watch these red shoes. They're okay, but now she's in trouble. As soon as she gets back a little bit, she has to get her arms over, get her shoulders down, and try to reach that foot over the log to slow it down.
What was that ice skating movie where they said toe pick?
Toe pick.
That was that kind of thing.
That's right.
Toe pick.
Yep, you got it. It's all about realizing you're in trouble before it's too late. All right, but you can see, again, I'll say it again, she was down 2-0 in her semifinal, and look where she is. She's right here in the final. So
she is the comeback kid.
That's right.
Abby Heschler.
She just has to take it one fall at a time like she did before, and she can be the day's champ. I really believe that. But Ellie's no slouch. She's defending world champion. She is at the top of the sport. Oh, she wasted no time there, though.
Quick roll.
Wasted no time.
Aggressive move.
All right. So you can see, though, that was different, though. The first 2 falls, Abby went off the backside of the log. Here, it's a little different. Abby's okay. Actually, Ellie's in trouble. Abby tried to capitalize, I think. You saw Ellie get down low. She was in trouble. Abby tried to put her in, but Ellie was able to recover in time, and she is 2017 champion at the U.S. Log Rolling Open.
We are going to come back. We're going to take a short break and then come back with the men from Orland Park. It's the 2017 Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open. Welcome back to the Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open in Chicago Southland's Orland Park, and it is brother against brother in the men's final.
That's right. On the right, a little bit bigger, older brother. That's Garrick Birdsong. He is rolling his younger brother, Connor Birdsong, on the left there. And actually, this is Connor's first professional tournament, and he has made it all the way to the final against his big brother.
Bragging rights coming up.
Absolutely. I don't think either one of these guys is going to hear the end of this for a while.
No, I don't think this is the end of these guys facing in the finals for a while.
No, I think
you're going to see these guys. These are young competitors.
That's right. And our wind is really picking up here on the lake. You can see these guys are kind of turning all around, and there goes Garrick.
Garrick, the older brother, went in.
That's right. So younger brother Connor says, you know what? I think I will do a little something while I'm here in the finals.
He looks like they're both thin men, but I believe there's a 2-pound advantage.
Yep. All right. So watch Garrick on the left. All right, he's kind of the aggressor in this match. His right shoe gets deep. His arms are in trouble. Anytime you see that windmill arm action, that's never good. Rarely do you recover out of the windmill, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I've been on a log once. That windmill was my first move.
Yeah, the windmill of death, absolutely. So Garrick goes in, but I don't think he's not gonna want his little brother to beat him here. So I'll be curious if he tries to kind of settle in, maybe let's get things to the next log, or if he's going to be like, nope, not today, little brher, and go after it right away.
Connor's favorite song is Take Me Home Country Road by John Denver.
Wow, little old school action for the young buck.
I wonder if he trains to John Denver.
I don't know, he might. All right.
Watching Oh God.
We're back underway here. They pulled out. Time is in. Again, this is a bucking match. They're facing opposite directions. So it's always favoring one person. You'd much rather run forwards than backwards. So there's always kind of tension on this log. These guys will try to keep one heel back, try to keep the log going the way they want it. But if you get too aggressive, start putting too much weight back, your other opponent can just kind of let the log go. But you heard the whistle, time is in, no fall there. They're moving on to the number 2 log.
The number 2 log, slightly smaller, so they're going to be a little bit closer to the water. The footwork becomes a little bit more important because when your feet get wet, you have to keep your center of gravity low.
Yep.
And Just watch the brothers' feet. I wonder if genetically since they're so similar, there's something something to that. Maybe this is why they're both in the final.
Could be. I gotta say, I have a little personal experience in this. I have rolled my big brother, my big older brother in competitions before.
Carl Rick, who we saw earlier.
That's right, Carl Rick. Yeah.
We didn't mention it. We tried to stay impartial.
Right.
But
I tried to be the professional broadcaster here, but now I feel like I can bring it up. But I will say, there's something a little unique about rolling your brother in a real competition. You know, these guys train together every day throughout the summer, and as the younger brother, it's almost like you got nothing to lose, you know, like you're the underdog and I'm just going to do anything and whatever happens, happens. And Garrick's kind of got all the pressure, especially now that his little brother's taking a fall on him.
Garrick studies biochemistry at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point.
Yep, and Connor, student at Onalaska High School. These guys are from the La Crosse area. Like we talked about before in their semifinals, both these guys have a cross-country background. They don't mind that this match keeps on going. I would be real surprised if we saw the number 3 based on the fact that it's a bucking match. Oh, you saw Garrick go in the water there again. All right, so Connor
splash.
Connor's trying to take this thing right here.
Little brother's gonna get the
That's
He's
right.
gonna get the bragging rights.
All right, so watch here. Watch Connor. Watch Garrett. He's on the far side. He's in trouble. Even though the log was spinning what would be his back step, he keeps going farther and farther. Like his butt gets off the back side of the log trying to fix that. And he almost went too far. So then Connor was able to just kind of let the log go, and Garrett kind of put himself in a way.
And did you see that look on his face? He does not want to lose the little brother.
Oh no. I think I gotta believe Garrett's not gonna go down without a fight here. I think little brother's first tournament. I don't think.
Who do you think Mom and Dad favor?
Oh, that's a good question. We had their dad on the live mic here at the venue before, but I think he's given that over to somebody else, and he's just taken an interest in this match without any comments.
See, it's easy with you three because you've got you and your brother, but then the parents can just pick Katie.
Yeah, well, I mean, you always pick the sister. I don't know what it is about that, but apparently it's a thing. But anyhow, we're back underway. Whistle's blown. These guys are fighting for everything they got. We got Garrick on the left now and Connor on the right. That's one thing that we haven't even talked about because it hasn't been brought up yet. But if you lose a fall, you actually have the choice of sides for the next one.
So that's why this is a bucking match.
Yeah, well, it's a bucking match either way about it. But before Garrick was on our right, now he's on the left. For whatever reason, a lot of times it could be anything. One, sun glare. It could be he didn't like that side of the logs. He thought there was maybe a knot interfering. Sometimes there's nothing, there's absolutely no reason, and you just feel like you need a switch up. Or sometimes you like facing the dock, whatever it can be. For whatever reason, Garrick decided to switch sides of the log, so he's over there on that left side now. And again, Connor, younger brother on the right, is up 2 falls to nothing.
Such aggressive moves.
Yeah, you see.
A little whitewater there.
And I know from these guys that Garrick's. Oh! I wasn't sure. I thought Garrick was going to maybe hold on to that one. But in fact, it's little brother winning his first tournament as a professional, and he will be our 2017 U.S. Log Rolling Open champion.
So let's see what happened.
Let's see how he did it, though. All right, so Garrick's on our right, Connor's on our left. Garrick's got the log bobbing up and down. You can see their arms are going crazy. Connor's fighting for everything he got. Garrick is too. He's totally laid out. And a big old splash. And little brother's victorious. Watch how hard Connor's fighting over on the right side. He's like, no, I got it. Yes. Finally beat the old big brother in a professional men's tournament to be this year's champion. That's a nice way to start your professional career. I'll say that. And a big embrace.
From Orland Park, it's the 2017 Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open.
Kids and water, but what do they do after they've learned to swim? How do we keep them interested in swim lessons if their enthusiasm is waning? Are the adults in your facility looking for something completely different and challenging? Think about adding log rolling to your program. Close friendships develop as rollers are engaged in fun and fitness. Log rolling is an extremely safe activity for your pool, camp, or aquatic facility.
All right, and I'm here with our 2017 U.S. Log Rolling Open champions, Connor Birdsong. I'm sorry, you beat the older brother, and Ellie Davenport. Ellie, I'll go to you first. All right, you're facing Abby Heschler in the finals, right? She's on the Mount Rushmore of families in log rolling. What are your thoughts going into it?
Just stay on the log. My whole goal was just to keep myself on the log and move my fast feet.
And apparently it worked. All right, congratulations. All right, over to Connor now. I got it right. All right, first professional tournament. You're facing your big brother. What's going through your mind before the match?
Well, it's my brother, so I just can't let him beat me. That's just as simple as that, really.
Okay, all right. So you're up 2-0. All of a sudden it's like, okay, it can happen. When he goes in the water, what's your thought?
I was just really excited. It's really great to win any tournament. It was my first pro tournament. It was just really fun. I was just going to be excited no matter how I did. I just had a good time.
All right, well, you did excellent. Congrats on that, buddy. All right, so my two U.S. Log Rolling Open champions. All right, and to wrap it up with a few final thoughts for today, I'll send it back to Dave.
Thanks, Jake, and thanks to everybody for tuning in to the 2017 Crick U.S. Log Rolling Open in Orland Park.